prices in Canada rose almost 6% last year. The year before that, it was over 10%. That's well above the general rate of inflation.
I asked for 5 slices of turkey breast, $7.72. What is happening?
And yet, Canadians are actually spending less at grocery stores every month. In fact, we're spending less on average than we have at any point over the last 5 years. Now, if you're thinking, wait, what? You're not alone. So how could it be that people are spending less at the grocery store now than they were when the price of virtually every type of food was cheaper? Let's try to understand. So we can begin to understand what might be happening here with an example. Meet Joe. Joe is a bank teller. He rents a 1-bedroom apartment just outside of Toronto. He drives to work and back, about 30 minutes each way. Let's call it 1,200 kilometers a month. And he's paying off his car and his student loans. So these were the major line items in Joe's budget in early 2020. And I'll just say, Joe is very average. So he's paying the average rent, he's paying the average price for gas with average commute times, he's using an average amount of energy at the average rate, he bought an average used car, has the average amount of student loan debt. You get the idea, the average grocery bill as well. All of this, by the way, based on Statistics Canada and other provincial data. Now, let's look at Joe again in early 2024. So Joe's rent, his gas, his energy bill, and loan payments have all gone up pretty significantly. Combined, he's paying, if I add this up here, plus, I think it works out to can barely fit that on, $602 more a month, or $7,224 a year, just on these 5 categories, not including groceries, and none of which are really optional expenses for him. He's kept his car, still does his laundry at the same time of day, still has to, drive to work every day. Unfortunately, he doesn't have rent control. He's paying the market average. But let's look at this. I'm gonna push this out of the way, pull this one in, because we're gonna look at Joe's income. So just over 39 grand a year in 2020. Again, very average, but let's assume he's been lucky enough to stay in the same job. He's, even had a couple of small pay bumps since 2020. The average raise is about 3.5% a year in Ontario, times 4, that works out to this, $44,983, or an extra $5,783 a year, but still not enough to cover all those extra costs. So Joe starts cutting back. He plays video games more, goes out to bars less. He goes camping for vacations, but he's trying to save up to buy a house, to have kids, and those goalposts keep getting further away. So he starts digging into his food budget too. He buys more packaged food, frozen food, less meat, fewer vegetables. So in the end, he reins in his grocery spending by almost $100 a month. So this is the average spending per person per month at grocery stores in Canada in early 2020 and in early 2024.